Welcome to the Bogosity Podcast for the 24th of October 2011, the podcast that cranks it up to 11 and pulls off the knob. This is your host, Shane Killian. Let's dropkick the news of the bogus. If you're convicted of a misdemeanor in Bay Minette, Alabama, you now have a choice. You can serve time in jail and pay a fine, or go to church every Sunday for a year. Yes, you heard that right. Jail or church. If you're pulled over by a state trooper for a minor traffic offense, what do you expect to happen? Well, you have to show him your license and registration, and he writes you a ticket. Does he get to search your car? Unless he arrests you, of course he doesn't. But what about your cell phone? Well, a California appellate court ruling allows police officers to download the entire contents of your cell phone in a traffic stop. Yes, all your emails and texts, everyone you called or who called you, and your high score on Angry Birds would all be made available to them. In yet another invasion of a citizen's privacy, Google has complied with the demands of the U.S. government to hand over the personal information of a U.S. citizen without a warrant. Jacob Applebaum is a developer for WikiLeaks, and the government went after his information using the grossly misnamed Electronic Communications Privacy Act, which was passed in 1986 and allows the government to demand user information from ISPs without a warrant. And now it's time to examine the brain damage of this week's biggest bogon emitter. Susan Greenfield is a woman whose self-appointed mission is to rid the world of the scourge of violent video games. To her, no misinformation is too much. She uses scary-sounding pseudoscience to frighten people into banning these innocuous and even potentially beneficial products. And now it's time to surreptitiously wiretap this week's Idiot Extraordinaire! Attorney General Eric Holder has done a fine job continuing his office's long-standing tradition of warmongering with incompetence. As both the neocons and the Obamatons try to drum up yet another bogus war, this time against Iran, their so-called intelligence keeps revealing itself to be nothing of the kind. Case in point, Holder's announcement that he uncovered a terrorist plot to bomb the Saudi and Israeli embassies in the U.S. What's hilarious about this is how they were supposedly going about doing this, having the plot carried out by a member of Los Zetas, a Mexican criminal organization. The so-called mastermind behind this alleged plot was Mansour Arbabziar, a used car dealer described by those who know him as scatterbrained, and called him Jack because of his tendency to drink a lot of Jack Daniels. Not the kind of person you'd trust to lead your covert terrorist operation. This is like trying to send in Woody Allen to seduce Princess Beatrice.